Welcome to the Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. What a beautiful way to start the day. I think that the pirate community is amazing and awesome. And I just want to thank all of those individuals that have reached out to me and shared a little bit of kindness. I don't know if you know this, Eric, but I broke my hip about a month ago, and I've been recovering from that. And here's my word of advice. Do not break your hip because it's very uncomfortable.
Having broken many bones, brother, I can feel what you're going through. So sorry to hear that.
Recovery. And that's not why I want to be here today. I want to talk today about making progress, making an impact on the world. And we had Eric in, what was it, a month ago? Maybe a month and a half ago, Eric?
August the 12th.
Okay, so earlier in this year, we had Eric on, and he committed to create a course for the pirate community and others. And today we brought him back in to talk about that course. He knocked it out. I'm going through the course right now, and it's an amazing course, and I want to share it a little bit. And welcome back, Eric, Mr. Pirate.
Thank you for having me back, Mr. Head Captain Pirate.
So it's a great week today, and I just want to send out, warm thoughts and prayers and all the healing that goes on with the hurricane. Anybody that is challenged by the hurricane, been through one myself. I know how challenging it can be at times. So I just wanted to send that out there and thank you so much, Eric. So this course you created, talk about the fuel that you had to motivate you to get this going. What was the trigger that made you want to do this?
Yeah, thanks. I'm a member of the Christian community, and seeing the outreach that's happening in that world where.
Welcome to. Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
It seems like we're having technical issues. It's like
life wouldn't be interesting if we didn't have these things to make us appreciate it.
Hey, it's real life. That's live. Right.
So the outreach in the Christian community of people that are suffering, despair, these things because of what's happening in our world right now, and the scarcity type of mindset, then in coaching executives and seeing what's happening with corporations that are closing and redoing everything, their infrastructures to survive, and a lot of them are thriving, but there's a fair amount that are not. So I'm a recovering pessimist myself. And I think that's a blessing. I'm very grateful for that journey because you get to then figure things out in real time. Right. So I thought, I've seen that there's a barrier of entry for my work that I do, and I didn't want that to be a barrier with a course. So I created an evergreen type of course where I did the videos and a workbook, and someone can go in at any time and do it. And my intent is so they can look at, hey, there is abundance out there. It may not be money. I don't want to, money mindset is the name of the course, but it's about abundance. And that can not necessarily be about money.
Yeah. Abundance doesn't have to be about money at all. Mm-mm. I mean, it could be relationships, it could be family, it could be just pure relaxation and joy in your day. I mean, I want to find an abundance of joy when you're depressed and you're not really sure where to go. Joy is something that you can really hop onto and find some relief with. So I want to talk a little bit about this because I read a statistic the other day that was a little scary, and I don't want to make this about doom and gloom because I believe there's opportunity in everything. I believe that there's things that are changing in our world, and they will continue to change. And I read that 46 billion-dollar companies are currently going into bankruptcy. Whether it's Chapter 11 and they're reorganizing their infrastructure, their debt, whatever it happens to be, or worse. And I know that you've seen it. You've seen other organizations close down, lay off, and change their structure. And I think change is the biggest thing that I want to bring to the table, is the idea that we can change, and we do change, and we should change from this. The rest of the world is changing. Why wouldn't we want to change? So how does this course impact the change that we can bring to our life? Talk a little bit about that and how that
I think
works.
Corporate speak and also individual speak is that having a static vision, having values that are up to date, being able to rely on those values that are important. What is the driving? Why are we here? So why are we serving our clients? Do we love our customers?
Yeah.
So when that is in place, the issue with big corporations being able to pivot their mission, it's fairly difficult because they have a lot of business systems in place. And within a short period of time, they have to make these changes. And if they have infrastructures that don't allow for that, that's what happens, is the fallout, because they can't pivot their mission. So I think, though, as an individual, there can be those blockages too of belief systems that get formed, and can be the internal bureaucracy we have individually. So I only see, and this is in myself, I'll speak for me, is that lasting change happens when there's enough pain involved. So hopefully,
say that again.
Lasting change happens when there's enough pain involved, a motivator. There has to be a motivator for someone to want to move off the needle, change the status quo of what they're doing. So if they don't have that motivator, then they're not going to act. So it's unfortunate that's the way things are in life. That's the way we are as people. We want that certainty. So when we have an uncertainty, and the uncertainty is big enough, then that's where action's taken. And truly, I feel grateful where I'm at financially and where I'm at. But this time can be a really fantastic opportunity for people to pivot and figure out something else to do.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to diminish, again, someone who's unemployed or someone who's going through some rough times, because I've been there. I know what that's like.
Yeah. Well, I've been there in my life several times. I've had things and lost things, and had nothing, and it's like camping for a year. It's like, okay, let's figure out what we want to do next. And I just think it's really important for us to understand that there are tools, there are resources, there are things out there that we can do. Even just a small movement in the right direction can change the way we think about what we're doing, why we're doing it, and how we're approaching it. And I think that's what the course brings to the table. And I think that's really what it's about in terms of, changing the way you're thinking about life. Because here's the challenge, Eric, is that we can only measure our next step with the experience that we've received in our life.
I like it.
And by looking at a course or looking at a coach or somebody else's perspective, we can almost believe, we can put faith in the idea that, okay, I may not know this personally because I don't have this experience, and I'm going to take a leap of faith. I'm going to believe that this outcome will make a difference in my life. And once you believe that, and you're running from the pain that you're in currently, you can make big changes in your life, and it makes a drastic change in your life. So that's what this course is. This is the way I observe this course, is the idea that you can actually make changes in your life and make lasting changes.
As my mentor, Tony Robbins, says, that people run from pain towards pleasure.
Yeah.
So, and I put in the course two things in those human needs. One was the need for certainty. The other need is for importance. So let's talk about the importance need right now. What can block people from getting help from a coach, or from getting help from reading a book or a documentary or whatever, a podcast like yours, is that ego of feeling important. And that if they have to pivot and it's fairly public that they're doing it, then it can be an embarrassment situation. So there's that ego that gets involved, and I've had to quash mine many times in my life. So I know what that's.
Well, let's go a little deeper in that, because there's two sides of the ego that kill us. In my experience, this is just my experience, is that the ego will lie to us mostly, that we need to produce a lot more in order to have people value our time and our opinion. And it's really not necessarily true. Or the ego will tell us that our time and opinion is worth so much more than the market will bear. And nobody wants to hire us because we're overpriced. So I'm looking at this two-sided monster and going, how do we position it to where, we understand our value, we understand what people are looking for and they're searching for, and then what do people want and what are they willing to pay for? And that kind of dynamic will change in different parts of our lives, and different, depending on how you apply it. And I think it's really important just to keep feeding ourselves positive information like this course, and make sure that we have an opportunity to just see things in a different light. So I want to highlight this. You can, for anybody watching or watching the replay, you can go to bit.ly money mindset 12, and we were laughing last time we talked about this, Eric, because money mindset was a great search term, but it's not limited to money mindset. The course is much beyond the money mindset. It's about mindset, period. And so at least that's my takeaway from it. It's like I could apply it to anything that in my life, many things in my life. So
yeah, let me comment on that. And
yeah, please
what
do.
you said earlier is justifying your existence, and is what you're getting at, that you have worth in the community, and I think that when you are true to yourself and you're true to your values and what those are, then you are able to be genuine. You can be a genuine leader. Authentic leadership happens that way when you truly know who you are as a person and you figure that stuff out. So yeah, the course is deeper than just the title. And I grappled with the title before creating it, because I wanted to attract people into it by having that kind of a title. But the core thing is, in the very beginning of the course, I asked the student to answer 2 questions for themselves, and we go into elicitation to get those answers. The first question is, what do you want? And if it's to feed your family during this time, that's a really big motivator. And so the why question is pretty easy to answer. Yeah. But if you want a brand new Porsche 959 and you're about to be laid off, why do you want that Porsche? Is it because the need for importance? What is that need? So it does go deeper. And my intent is to actually have the student figure out what it is that they want. And then the why factor is what will get them in the mindset of the abundance. Because when you figure out that why, then it seems like people show up like you're helping me get this word out. So I visualized doing something. I got on the show. I made a statement that I needed to do this, and I committed to it. And it took me 11 days from start, no website, no nothing, to having it completed this past Monday.
Yeah.
So Monday, I had this done this week.
It's a massive undertaking, by the way. If you haven't ever created a course and going from zero to finish, it is an amazing feat, and hats off to you, because I have created many courses, and I've started many courses, and it's just a lot of work, and a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that need to take place. So I just hats off to you. And
well, I didn't do it alone. I'm grateful to quite a few people that helped me. So it happened collaborative effort on that.
Hey, I want to just jump in the room here, Eric, and get some feedback from the community, because Angie, good morning, everyone. She says, thank you so much. She's an awesome pirate that is always helping everyone around her. Adi says hello. Thank you so much for being here. Geezer, I hope I pronounced your name right. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, if anybody has any questions for Eric, let's ask him here. Gabriel, good morning, everyone and fellow pirates. And the reason I read these off is because this content is turned into a podcast later on. So if you're not subscribed to the podcast and you want some informational, educational, inspirational information on a regular basis and you can't watch the show, love to have you subscribe to the podcast. So good morning from Brazil. Thank you so much from Brazil. This is awesome. In fact, we've had a couple of interviews from Brazil. I have to go back and share those. Sherry Lawley, she's always a great pirate to be in the room. Thank you so much for being here, Sherry. If you have any questions, and Hyatt's a friend from Houston. I hope you're well, Hyatt. He's been doing a lot. He used to do a lot in live events and adventures, and now he's spinning off into doing other things. That's cool. A recovery pessimist. Yes. Laughter helps add joy, at least for the moment. And at any time, I think it's really one of those things you got to do all the time. Thanks for the link, Gabriel. It still should, the link in LinkedIn is challenging, Sherry. Always challenging, it seems like. And then Slap Tags Designs, which is Sherry Lawley's company. Thanks for she's here. Let's go here. Listening on 2 platforms in case there's a glitch. That's awesome. And Tracy, good morning. Tracy is here. Thank you so much for being here. Angie, good morning, Tracy. And then you got Kenyatta, good morning, piratey people. Kathy Spooner. Kathy, thank you so much for being here. Pessimist, can't spell. That's all right. I knew exactly what you were talking about. DNS Tours, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. Jennifer Price, good morning, Jennifer. Russ and Eric. Eric, can you tell us more about some of the modules or lessons in your course?
Sure.
Absolutely. This is a great conversation to have. Let's dive into that. Thank you for the question, Jennifer. Appreciate that. So let's dive into the lessons.
Lesson 1 is about figuring out what you want and why you want it. So in that one, we go through a elicitation of what values are and how they fit into what you want and why you want them. Then I get into what visualization is and the link between visualization and meditation. So those two are very tightly interwoven. One of the books I read several years ago that really got me on this path was How God Changes the Brain by Dr. Andrew Newberg. And he talks about those visualizations, and that type of meditation is so life-changing. It actually changes your prefrontal cortex of your brain. So you're then able to be happier. You're then able to visualize the big picture, those types of things. So then I get into about learning styles. So if you're an auditory learner, for example, in your visualization, you need to have more of the sounds. So you're describing, if you're on the Colorado River fishing, you're hearing the sounds of the line casting into the water. Your reel, that sound of the reel, you're hearing the water flow over the rocks in your visualization. If you're more of a visual learner like myself, then you're describing in bright colors and symbols and metaphors. So if you're a kinesthetic learner, then those types of learners need to experience the event in feeling words also. So you're creating a visualization that has a lot of feeling words in it. And then you're actively involved in the visualization as well. So, and over the course, you're starting off with keywords, then you're expanding into a short story about what you want. then you're expanding into actually implementing all these things that I've talked about into your visualization.
I like the progress of that. And also what I've discovered along the journey in, just the Pirate Broadcast and starting to put out things in the Pirate Syndicate, helping others produce their content and share their gifts and their message. It's really about the idea that when you get clear on what it is you want, like you said earlier, things start showing up in your world in a different way. And all of a sudden the things that you hadn't seen before start showing up. And is that just because you kind of reprogramming the way you see things in life? How does that work?
I think so. There's also that energy Einstein talked about, and there's a great book by Lynn Taggart, who is a investigative journalist. She wrote several years ago called The Field. And in that book, she interviewed physicists about the connection that we all have together. Christian words, it's the mystical body of Christ. And in other languages, other types of belief systems, it's the energies that or vibrations. Mm-hmm. So I believe that's true, that if you're in, think about this too, in the negative aspect, if you're in a heated situation, you're watching a movie, for example, and the characters in the movie, one of them gets angry. What happens to the other character? They then respond in kind with anger. So those energies do flow. It's the body language, of course, it's involved in that. It's the voice energies, and the voice energies or voice tones carry frequencies.
Oh, so,
yeah. And that energy is what is happening. Plus our body, we're a living creature. We're built with all these electrons, all these electrical circuitry in our body. So that also is part of it.
Yeah, I know that it's important. And it's even important, who we hang out with and how they speak to themselves. It's also important on how we speak to ourselves. It's sometimes people that I've talked to that aren't very positive, it's always something they're beating themselves up over, or they're telling themselves how bad they are, or how, stupid they are, or whatever, fill in the blanks, and I've been there in my life, and had to change my language that I use on myself, and change the way I think about myself, and then start speaking that and then sharing that. And that's why it's so important for me to do this is because when you set the example and you can share it, I mean, it's a therapy for me. It's like, if I can make somebody happy and share a few smiles and, throw out some kindness, it sets the tone of my day. And it's like, I'm in a much better mood all day long. And it resonates with me in that way. And I'm sure that there's other ways that it can resonate, Eric. Maybe you could share a few.
I watch TV to study the behaviors. And I was watching a series on Netflix called Rust Valley Restorers. It's about this this junkyard in British Columbia. These guys are restoring old cars. And the owner they have this formula for these types of reality shows where they'll have the conflict, right? Uh-huh. But I'm hearing the characters talk and about themselves into the camera, and they're having this negative self-talk. So then when they interact with each other too, they're in this state. And you can change your state, by the way, by just doing a few things, easy things to get back into a positive state. But these guys aren't doing that. They're remaining in a negative state. And it's caused then for this guy's best friend to leave the business and start his own because they couldn't figure out. So it starts with the self-talk, absolutely. Uh-huh. And then when you have those vibrations, they're going out and you're expressing that to someone else, you're attracting back that negativity.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened to the point where it could, who knows, ruin a relationship, or it could be the plot of the show. It's supposed to be that way.
Either the plot to your life or the plot to the show. We'll never know, right?
Right. Yeah, but the point is, in that saying that is that self-talk is so incredible. I learned from Zig Ziglar back in the late '80s about that, and I met Zig, got to be in his world a little bit, and he taught me that. He saw some of the stuff I was going through and was, hey, look at this differently, and it took me years to figure it out after having those conversations. But yeah, it's so powerful.
Yeah. I know that, the way I approach a lot of things in life, or now anyway, is that experience is not necessarily good or bad. I mean, they have experiences that may not be delivering the outcome we imagine it should, and then we're disappointed. However, every experience has something to teach us. And as we go through this thing called life, we have a very short period of time in the big scheme of things, because statistically we're going to be dead a lot longer than we're alive, right? And so it's like we have to make the most of it, make it matter. And when we're beating ourselves up, it's not necessarily the best use of our time. So I encourage you to reach out, find a coach, find a mentor, find somebody that can actually help you, get out of your state of the current state that's not serving you well, and doing something more positive with it. And I think that, you and I shared that conversation before offline, and it's like, hey, if you're going to change, you got to change, and it's not necessarily comfortable. So, find a way that works for you. And this course, I think, can help a lot of people.
We're being forced to change. Why not make positive ones? Make positive changes if we are forced to change. So, yeah.
I like that. So let's, I just want to, if you can go to bit.ly.moneymindset12, it'll take you right to the course. In fact, let me see if I can share this screen. It's pretty straightforward. It will allow you to actually, let me share this one here. Do this live.
There it is.
Yeah. So let me remove the branding here. So yeah, what it is allows us to really, move this forward and get what it is we want to share, and then transfer your mindset, whatever direction you want to transfer. So what are some other details that you put in there, and what were some challenges that you came up across in delivering this material?
The challenge was creating visualizations that would be relatable. So I actually gave examples. So I want to have a sampler of what it looks like after going through the exercise, so you can really see it. If you haven't been a visualizer before or meditator before, then this is those samples would help putting that together. That's strong. That's the way I learn, is by experiencing also. So I figured, that learning style needed to be in there as well. So the samples were the biggest challenge.
And because it's pretty comprehensive. So if anybody wants to check it out, and what is it? Free 99?
Free 99, correct. 0.00. You'll pay the high price today is 0.00.
So I thank you, Eric, for doing this, and it's awesome to be able to see this come to fruition, because I mean, it wasn't very long ago that this was just an idea, and it's really about how I can actually improve the world around me. And I know you do this from a caring heart, adding value to the world, and being a instigator of change. So I really appreciate you and the things you're doing. And for those pirates watching, or if you're watching the replay or checking out the show at any point in time, and for the podcast, I encourage everyone to connect with Eric and let him know that you're a pirate too. And so you can actually make those connections, make those introductions, and learn more about how to change your mindset. And it's not just money mindset. I want to make sure that it's more than just money. So it could be much more, depending on what you're looking to accomplish. So
right
any
on.
last
I appreciate
words?
you too.
Sorry.
Yeah, I appreciate what you do, and it's part of this whole attracting good people around you. My grandmother taught me that when I was 8 or 9. So be careful who your friends are, you know?
Yeah.
So when you have good people around you, that whole thing works together with, it's moving towards what can we do together to accomplish. One person by themselves don't do a lot, right? It's help each other, it's collaborating.
Yeah. Well, I'm so thankful and grateful that I get to collaborate with people like yourself and make sure that other people have access to you and just shine the light on you for a little bit, and at least 30 minutes or so, and then we can go out there and have a fantastic day and know that we've done something positive. I can't imagine a better feeling than that. So, and I just want to recap on a couple of things. Hyatt says, I'm signed on your program on September 16th. So we'll get to talk about Hyatt and what he's got going on. And thanks for the sneak peek, Eric. Jennifer Price, thank you so much. Being a pirate there. Kathy, shifting the energies around us. Love it. So Kathy Nesbitt is just signed up. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. And then also, throughout your day, if you could just share a little bit here and there, a little bit of kindness along the journey, it's always helpful to throw that energy out there, because I really believe in that. And as I continue to share that, I look forward to having you join us on the Pirate Broadcast. Like I said, all of these episodes can be found at russjohns.com/Pirate Broadcast. And if you have any questions or you want to ask for guests on the show or reach out or anything like that, subscribe to the channel, YouTube, podcasting, anything, and get involved, get engaged, because that's how we make a change together. So, Eric, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, and I look forward to the next adventure. So,
all right. Appreciate your time too.
Don't go away. And as you know, everyone, kindness is cool. Smiles are free. So you enjoy the day. Take care. Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.